Welcome to the Dork Forest. Jackie and her pals will never bore us. Shameless confessions
about our obsession
will make us laugh and smile. So let's explore the Dork Forest and dork out for a while.
Hey, it's Jackie Cation. Welcome to the Dork Forest. You know the websites, JackieCation.com, DorkForest.com, TheDorkForest.com. I also purchased FamilyPetAncestry.com because it made me laugh. It just points towards my website. Anyway, it is January. Let's do the credits. Mike Rickberg has composed and sings with his girlfriend, Sarah Cohen, the intro song to the Dork Forest. He will sing the Mexican hat dance at the end, lyrics he made up. Now, Patrick Brady will fix this audio. I'm using the lavaliers. Hopefully that is not a problem. And Vilmos fixes my website. So if you need a website, Vilmos is your guy. He does JackieCation.com. And it's easy to change my website, and so you should use him. Anyway, the credits, and then that, and then the merch page and donations. It's January again, so you can start donating to me again. You could always give to a food bank, like I do in November and December. But if you like the show, I ask if people are willing and have it to donate $100 a year and become a super fan. What does the super fan get? The same thing a regular fan gets, which is a thank you card and possibly a trinket. You can also just order stuff as a way to support the show. You can order from the merch page on JackieCation.com. The donation button is there, and it's on DorkForest.com. But the merch page has T-shirts, Ranger T-shirts, and Dork Forest T-shirts. I'm working on a new one, but I haven't yet figured it out. And then my CD and DVDs. My DVD and CDs are there, and you can buy those, and there's a deal if you get more than one. And if you want to get a bunch of stuff, just email me. I'll figure something out. Anyway, so you can get merch. You can use the Amazon banner on JackieCation.com when you order from Amazon, as we all do, and I get a little bit of a kickback. All it is a portal into Amazon, and it's noted that you came from my website, and then I get a percentage. And it's nice. People have been using it, and I totally appreciate it. If you want, you could come and see me do stand-up comedy. You could watch me do stand-up comedy all over the internet. That's right. I live in Los Angeles. It's January, which means I'm going to be all over New York this month. And then at the end of the month, I'm doing my home club in Minneapolis, Minnesota, Acme Comedy Company. But check my Twitter feed and Facebook and my own page, because I'll be doing 2 or 3 sets a night for the first. I'm doing a live Dork Forest in New York on the 10th. Me and Matt Brunger are splitting a couple-hour slot at the New York Podcast Festival, and it's January, and so I am in New York. I'm doing the New York Podcast Festival. First of all, me and Matt Brunger are splitting a 2-hour slot at Fontana's for the New York Podcast Festival on January 10th, and then I'm going to be doing sets until the 26th all around New York City. So come and see me do stand-up comedy around New York City, January 7th through the 26th. And then I am at Acme Comedy Company in Minneapolis, my home club. Super fun. Anyway, thanks a lot for tuning in, you guys. This is a good one. It is the week before Christmas, and I am in Aspen, Colorado. And now, let the show begin.
At RBC Wealth Management, social responsibility starts at the top. As a part of the Royal Bank of Canada, RBC has been recognized among the world's financial, social, and environmental corporate leaders. Our sense of responsibility extends to our reputation for putting clients' interests first. My personal commitment is to help you achieve your financial goals by also considering sustainable and responsible investing strategies. To learn more, visit www.darlacashin.com. RBC Wealth Management, a division of RBC Capital Markets, LLC. Member NYSE, FINRA, SIPC.
Hey, it's Jackie Cation. I am in a hotel room, a glamorous Aspen, Colorado hotel room, where a town that's so pretty, there's nothing left to gentrify. That's right. And we got a fireplace, and I'm sitting here with Tammy Pescatelli. We're here to do a show.
Hello. We have to meet in weird towns all the time.
I know. The last time we saw each other was that
Lucy Fest. It's Jamestown, New York.
Jamestown. That was right. The Lucille Ball Comedy Festival, or Festival of Lucille Ballness.
Right. She was there. She was born there and then never returned.
classic. We're using the lavalier, so it's going to be an exciting time for Patrick Brady when he fixes the audio. God love him. And Tammy Pescatelli, by the way, it's Tammmy, and then Pescatelli, just like it sounds, you guys. Pescatelli. And it's at Tammy Pescatelli on Twitter.
Yes.
Pescatelli.com for your regular website. And people should, and you have a special that's on Netflix and iTunes called Finding the Funny.
Right.
And they can download that, and then they can see you live wherever they want to see people live do stand-up.
You're so good at this. You really are.
Oh, sure. Years later, I gotta, we gotta get that out and let people know what your name is and where they can find you. The stand-up comedy, very exciting. And,
sometimes.
right. But now you're dorkdom. I like the list you sent me. And cause we're going to go after this, we're going to go thrifting.
Yes. Cause I'm a huge thrift store shopper.
Why?
I was always poor because I'm a comedian. Like,
right.
When you start comedy, I used to go around towns with $1 in my pocket and try to figure out how to eat. Like, go to Taco Bell, you could get one taco.
The Subway sandwiches, you get those clips, and then you get different.
Punches. Yeah.
You get 10, and then you'd get a free 6
Sure.
inch.
Yeah, I used to, and sadly to say, try to figure out how to punch the card, figure out how to make my own ink stamp out of soap, like I was in jail, like jail stamp cards, trying to do that stuff. And so I always had, I was a fashion design major in college.
Oh, right.
Right. So I would totally.
So you know clothes.
I know clothes. I know fabric. I spent 4 years doing weft and weaves and all this baloney.
Yeah. Where'd you go to college?
Kent State University.
All right. And not shot. Well played.
Not shot.
Too soon? Too soon for that joke?
Yeah. So too soon and too late.
All of it. Okay.
Yeah.
So, so you studied fashion, so you can look at a thrift store and find good stuff.
Right. Like I went way before it was popular.
Right.
Way when it was crusty and you wouldn't tell
pre
people.
the bearded youth movement.
Correct. But then, and the whole,
even
what's
grunge.
his name? The guy that sings the song.
Husker Du? No, I'm thinking of Nirvana.
No, what's his name? I don't know. The guy that's purple suit.
I might not be 25.
Thrift store show. But,
okay.
Yeah, but like way before, because as I told you, I would pretty and pink it. I would have a project that I was in college, man, and I would totally blow off the project until the night before.
Oh,
and
there you
can't
go.
create. So then I would go to the thrift store and I would find like 3 or 4 different articles of clothing and tear them all up and put them together.
I was once trapped. May I tell you this story?
Please.
I was trapped at a dinner table one time with a woman. Who was this person? I can't even remember. All I remember is I eventually had to shut her down. And it was not, because we were not on the Dork Forest. It was not a safe space. And they were talking about cosplay and they were talking about making costumes and stuff. And I said something I probably shouldn't have said, which was, I've always wanted to dress like Xena the Warrior Princess, which, if I could look like Lucy Lawless, that'd be awesome. And even not. Even
or
if
sing like her. Have you ever heard her sing? Crazy.
No.
Crazy. She has an
amazing voice.
Opera voice.
Holy
Not just
crap.
like a normal, nice karaoke voice. Operatic voice. Like, could you be all things at all times?
Right. Could you be the hottest? Anyway, so, but this woman was telling me that at Ralph's grocery store in Los Angeles, they oftentimes, here during the winter, they will sell, pleather jackets. They'll sometimes have clothing. And they're like, I bought a pleather jacket and I cut it up and I turned it into a Xena the Warrior Princess costume. And then she explained it. It must have been 15, 17 minutes at a dinner. 17 minutes in a row.
Of how she did it?
Possibly 20.
Jackie, hear this. Listen to this right now. You hear this? This is a fake North Face coat that I bought for $5 at a thrift store.
Where? What thrift
At a thrift store. This was, I can tell you straight up, a Goodwill in Omaha, Nebraska.
All right. See, the thing is I would walk into a Goodwill in Omaha, Nebraska, and I would be overwhelmed. And I can't wait to go thrifting with you because you'll see, you're willing to scrabble around, and look at everything. And you can sort of tell by I like it. Here's what I like. When a thrift store will separate things by colors.
Yeah, that's helpful. Although color is not necessarily what you need. You need to kind of have, this is what, depends on what you want. Do you want quality?
Right.
Do you want fun? It's, for real, there's no need. Clothes don't die. I feel like, how people don't like fur now because, all right, it kills the animal. But
right.
I get why. But what about vintage for? Did
Right.
the animal just die in vain? Should it just sit there? What about the clothes? Like, did those little hands that made them in the Philippines and got poked
Yep.
over and over
Yep.
again, should their work be in vain? So let's go to the thrift stores. Why can't we live and dress like the 1%
Yep.
on $1?
On $1. Yeah. Well, I think that's great. Like, what are you looking for though when you go into a thrift store? Are you looking for fabric? Are you looking for style? Are you looking for cost?
Well, here's what I'll tell you. Like, I know people are going to go, what? But I don't buy sweatshirts or sweaters anywhere but thrift stores.
Oh, that makes sense though.
Ever.
Right.
Like, so like when we go here, we're in Aspen, Colorado, we're going to find some great sweaters.
Right.
We're going to find some high quality wool, like Scottish type.
Yeah, super
shave a
nice.
sheep sweater, right?
Like, yeah.
Cashmere you're going to find here, like that kind of stuff. You got to figure out where you're going. Like if you're in the South and you want cowboy boots, man,
Yeah.
that's the place to go. You got to, you want to go down and have an idea of your region.
I had a friend of mine who collects accordions. Why has she never been on the Dork Forest? But when she goes to Wisconsin, she always goes to the Salvation Army and the thrift stores, and because there's always old. People get rid of their accordions.
Sure.
Or more likely, they're getting rid of their grandparents' accordions. That they're like, okay, because so grandma died, I can't possibly have anything to do with this accordion. And then she goes and takes them, and they're amazing.
Yeah.
So,
well, I also,
so it's like that, regional.
Right. So you figure out regional stuff, and then it also depends. Like my son is into all kinds of cool little toys. He's 6 years old. You don't always find. So I go through toys to see what they have. Old stuff. Like I have this great little Alf collectible doll that who has an Alf doll? But I do. I do.
You do. You
Lots
collect
of little Star Trek memorabilia because my husband
How many
loves
different
it.
Elf things do you have?
I have 3 different Alf things.
You found 3 different Elf toys.
I have about 17 different Star Trek from the original Captain Kirk and Leonard
original
Nimoy
original
dolls,
series, yeah.
right? In packages, like pre-eBay stuff,
Yeah.
I have what's it called? The thing that beams you up, the
communicator?
The communicator, but
you got one of those?
I mean,
right?
So stuff like that, I find I even do it online.
What are the poses of the Elf dolls? Do you have little Elf figures? Is that what you've got?
No, Alf. Not Elf. Alf.
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 As in the
Alien
alien
life form.
Right. What is he posing as? What is he doing?
One, he's in a window with the fingers, the whole Ronald Reagan, the full Reagan.
Yeah, he's doing a full Reagan. That's awesome. Yeah.
He's doing a full Reagan. There's another one where he's in a Hawaiian shirt, just kind of standing there.
Sure.
With no pants.
No
which
pants.
was weird.
That feels.
Yeah, and then there's another one where he's sitting like in a chair, like a big armchair, kind of. It's really reminiscent of Archie Bunker, but he's just sitting there.
Well, I think we can all agree was Archie Bunker,
Of
but
the
done
80s.
of alien life form.
And yet, nor you nor I have a television show.
No, but Elf gets a show. But
We have never had.
no, we've not had television shows. But that's what I do enjoy is when comics tell me, "Hey, I'm learning how to act on television." And I'm like, "What? Shouldn't we have taken classes?" And they're like, "I did take classes, but it's been years." And so it's but when comics are given television shows, they have to learn how to act. Like on the ground.
Right.
Running.
Right, hopefully.
It's so weird. Hopefully.
Or not.
Or not.
I like when they don't act well because then it sets the bar a lot lower for us. Then I'm like, I know I can do at least as well.
Seinfeld took like 2 seasons and then he was good, I thought.
Yeah, Seinfeld Chronicles, not so much. By Seinfeld,
But
the
the first
generation.
the second, I would say he was less wooden by the end of the season, and then it was great.
And then he morphed right back.
Oh, right, into his
Into
wooden
that weird
persona.
wooden
Yes,
persona.
he is a stiff gentleman, but perfectly nice as far as I've been told. I've never met him, so I'm sure he's very nice.
One time I met him, but he wasn't at a thrift store, so I don't.
Right, well, you were like, we have nothing in common, sir. Keep moving.
But that's a very alienating thing. When you tell people you buy stuff at thrift stores, they
it used to be, but now you're cool.
You're cool to
Even?
a certain faction.
Okay.
There's still another faction that doesn't want someone's used stuff.
Oh, that's right. You were telling me that.
Yeah, like my husband's family, like there's no way.
We're not going to buy someone else's shirt.
Yeah, like what if they died in it? I don't know. Maybe they did die in it. That's why you wash it first.
And that's why it's $7.
Right.
It's the greatest deal in the world. I like thrift clothes. I like but I'm not good at picking. So, like if you like, we'll go today. You might see a good sweater. You might see a good sweatshirt.
I don't have anything in my house except for my television.
Okay, which you
electronics
must be purchased.
Trying
new.
to think that didn't come from a thrift store. I mean, even couches. I'll just get them reupholstered because I'm a shabby chic type person.
Right.
So I'll get them reupholstered. I'll redo them.
Sometimes reupholstering costs as much as new furniture.
Yeah,
though.
or I'll try to play and do it myself.
Okay.
Tack it in. But
that's right, because you sew.
Right. So, but I enjoy that stuff. I don't know what it is. Like, number one, I don't like to waste the money on it. It's not that I'm cheap, because I'm not cheap.
No.
But I enjoy that kind of stuff. It's my own eclectic personality.
Yeah, that's a fun thing, is to save the money to do it and then to make it your own kind of thing. Yeah, that's not cheap. That's fun, especially because you're doing your labor on it too. Especially if upholstering or sewing. Like, can you make clothing? Wait, fashion? Of course you can make clothing.
I can make clothing. I don't have the time, nor do I have the wherewithal to. But yes, I could. I did for a while. Like, I enjoyed that. I like to just make it my own, if that makes sense. So you
tailor.
I tailor it to fit. I'll cut
you
something off.
You always look great.
Oh, you're a sweetheart. But you know what else? Here's the thing about thrift stores. No one else in the room is going to have on what you have on.
Right.
That's the other thing. I like that unique individual. I don't have to look like, Andre 5000 or one of the LMFAO guys looking weirdo unique.
Okay.
But I want to not walk in and have, as a woman, people dress the same places. They shop the same places.
Oh, yeah.
You go to an Express or Limited and you're going to walk and do a show. I should not have on the same thing that a woman in the audience has on.
Fair enough. Because it's a show busy thing. Yeah.
Kinda. I don't know what it is,
And for you, I have always dressed as a 12-year-old boy. I think because I have four, right. I have 4 older brothers and they would constantly give me their I got hand-me-downs. So, I feel comfortable in those clothes, but I would like to wear, prettier clothes or more exciting clothes.
But I did what you did. I had those hand-me-downs. But you know what I did? It was flash hands. I just cut the shoulder off.
That's it.
Right? Like that kind of stuff.
Because that's your thing. That's your talent. You wanted to go into fashion. You enjoy that kind of stuff. I've been thinking about how I would love to have someone dress me. Like people do. Greg Barron's wife one time, 1,000 years ago, she was like, "You should dress hip hop," and I was like.
Pause for a moment of laughter.
And unfortunately, I didn't know what that meant. I mean, I listened to hip hop, but I didn't know. It was. She bought me some camo. I bought them, but she picked out these camo cargo shorts. And
Missy Elliott?
Yeah, I think so, because it was probably during the heyday of Missy Elliott, and then some sort of blousey kind of thing, like a peasant blouse. It was like a mishmash of these things. And I was like, all right, then I guess I'll wear this. But the problem is so she'll say, or someone will say, you should dress like this. Will buy me one outfit. And then I will wear that outfit for 20 years. I still have those shorts. And,
listen, they're still hip. I mean, here's the thing. I told you earlier, I dress like Ozzy Osbourne.
Right.
I have the old lady Ozzy Osbourne. I have like black leggings, but I kind of went back to the Johnny Cash days. And that's what I keep in my travel bag, because then I just can flip it through.
Oh, it's kind of like a little black dress that we're all supposed to have, but in your case, it's a little black outfit.
Yeah, like I have like 6. I right now have 2 pair. I've been out for 4 days.
Right.
I have 2 pair of pants that I would call work pants.
Okay.
All right. And then 1 pair of tights that I could wear either way.
Just walking around.
Like walking around, or and then about 4 different blouses, and but black as well.
Yeah.
And that's how I do it, man. But I think everybody, it's a pain. For us, it's different, because when you're standing on stage, when you're a woman, every ounce of you is draped in. People they drink it, and it's a weird thing. Guys, they look at them once and then they let it pass.
Yeah.
I don't want my outfit to overshadow my jokes.
Material, yeah.
Right? But I also, like, when we started, think about this. I wore the lesbian comedian uniform for the first 7 years of my career. The vest.
I
T-shirt.
I had a jacket that literally was my brother's, an old suit jacket of his, and I rolled the sleeves up because it didn't fit. I wasn't doing it for hipster reasons.
No.
I did it because it didn't fit, but I look like a caricature of something.
A female comedian at the time.
Right.
I had my hair was longer, but it was up in a scrunchie.
Okay.
You know what I mean? If you put a split screen of me and Rosie O'Donnell and Paula Poundstone and
me
Ellen
and anybody else,
we all looked the same.
Right.
That was... So I didn't want to be a woman. Like you
got to play it down. People were always like, well, you can't wear anything. You can't wear... I remember they were telling us, and when I say us,
they would tell us.
Women comics, I don't know if guys get this, but I remember them saying, well, you can't wear a dress on stage.
Yeah.
Because it's distracting. And you're like, well, why would it? I don't want to wear a dress on stage, but if I did, why would it be more distracting than some guy wearing a suit? And they're like, well, people can see your legs. And I was like, are we in the 1800s? What's happening? Do you not want to see an ankle? And
I taped my boobs down. I would wear 2 bras, not now, but like at the time.
At the time,
I was young, and I would have one bra that was like a binding softball bra,
right?
That I had.
Oh, like a sports bra,
right? But they used to be really tight, and I would put that over a regular bra, so it would kind of flatten you out. So there was no hint of breastises.
Right. Well, I never. I was always wearing sweatshirts and t-shirts and like relatively big clothes.
Yeah.
Because I have looked like this. Give or take,
you look great.
I look fine, but give or take 30 pounds, I have looked like this since I was 16.
Crazy.
So I've never, like when I moved to Los Angeles and I saw women with really big boobs and they would have cleavage and they would be out, and I was like, man, I wish I were that strong in my sense of self that I could wear cleavagey stuff. And somebody pointed out, well, they bought those, Jackie. It'd be like not bringing your new handbag.
Right.
It's like not showing off a cool pair of shoes.
Well, that kind of happened to me because I had, I don't want this to devolve into a breast conversation, but I
breasts
did see
are addictive.
that people would wear their cleavage out, and I started to see that like on stage, and I'm like, why am I hiding this? Now I have jokes. So once I felt comfortable with my material, then I was able to bring it out a little bit.
Right, then you can wear whatever you want because you're like, you can look at my breasts all you want, but you will listen to these damn jokes.
Right.
And it'll be fine. And but it was weird that you were told, because we're also not told to talk to each other about the things that we're told. I mean, there's like, there's like all these unspoken lady comic rules that happened in the 80s and the 90s that nobody really talks about.
Right.
But look at us discussing,
because we never worked together, though. Think about
That's
it, Jackie.
true, too.
Or now we do it as we get further in our careers. But we never did. There was never...
And even now they book more women together, just regular comics. They just pick 3 comics. They don't pick, we can't have 2 women on the show or 3 women on the show that freak everyone out.
Right.
No one's freaked out. But they did think that it would freak everyone out in 1992 for some reason.
Right.
Or 1986.
Well, we tell jokes not from chick perspectives. That's the difference. Although I have become exactly what I didn't want to be in a weird way. When I started comedy...
A mercenary?
Yes, I'm a mercenary.
You're a merc.
Yes.
You're Deadpool.
I have to tell you, I'm an assassin and a hacker. I am responsible for the entire Sony downfall.
Excellent. The Sony downfall. You're secretly Korean. Go.
I wish I would like to come out now on your show and let everyone know that I'm Korean.
Are you Banksy?
Can you imagine? I'm the guy with that weird mask from V.
Oh, from V. Which is just Guy Fawkes. I think that's a Guy Fawkes mask. The anonymous mask. Anyway.
That's what I sleep in. People have sleep masks to go to sleep. I sleep in the V mask. I think it's just, I really became what I didn't want to be. Was it?
Weirdly enough, my phone is ringing and it's only a cell phone.
It's because I'm hacked. Because I told you.
It's the NSA. Finally. I thought I turned this off. Okay, maybe it's muted. It's not important. Or maybe it's Hollywood.
I'm telling you, that's probably Amy Pascal going, shut up.
Finally. Jackie, we're rebooting Gilmore Girls. You're going to play the mom. All right.
But when I started comedy, like, I couldn't relate to any women. Before I started comedy, like when I was a big fan, when I was just a big fan, before I knew it was available for women, because it was like, women talking about their facelifts and their sequins and their husbands. And now I'm old. I don't have a facelift, but that's
you got some sequins.
I got some sequins. I don't do sequins.
You blinging it? You blinging it?
Not really, because I'm too old. You know,
feel
what I mean?
like it. I think it would age us if we went bling.
Yeah,
it would
sure.
actually, because it feels more 60.
Yeah.
Than 45.
Yeah, for sure.
And so it's weird. The weird thing is like I don't think any women were talking. I mean, I think there were 3 women telling those stereotypical jokes that made the entire world, for some reason, say that women weren't funny.
Yeah.
But for some reason, the 9 billion gentlemen discussing what hand they hold their dick in never made anyone say, you know what, guys are kind of gross and not funny. But because there were also, 10 guys that were being super interesting and funny and smart and great. But 10% of the women were doing stuff that was fascinating too.
Correct.
And 80% of the women were doing stuff that was just fine and wasn't hacky, but was just fine. Like 80% of the guys.
The guys. But we still deal with it even now. We're due for it now. We're doing for it now, right? There's going to be some dude. It's time.
Right.
We're rebooting.
Who could it be? It'll be Joe Biden will accidentally say, you know what, I don't think women are very funny.
I don't think he thinks anybody's funny but him.
Right, he does. He's one of those guys that does look like, but you know when it happens and then somebody always emails you, they're like, did you hear what, Jerry Lewis said or somebody? I was like, it actually doesn't affect me.
No.
I don't actually need to hear what anyone says.
The only time it affected me was when Phyllis Diller said it. Then I was pissed.
Oh, did I got to meet Phyllis Diller one time? That was neat. She said that she didn't think women were funny?
She absolutely did. And she said, well, what she said was she didn't think that there was anybody coming up that could fill the shoes that she and Joan Rivers and some of the ones before had done.
That sounds just like an ego thing, though. That doesn't sound like she didn't like
I didn't think it was that hard to fill those shoes. I don't think that maybe it's me, but I'm just saying, I don't think gauntlet was thrown.
I appreciate the work that you did do, Susan B. Anthony, but I'm just saying that at this point, there's a lot of really funny women out there, and it's all good.
Decent suffragette.
Yeah, I appreciate your suffragette moments, but I can't say that you're irreplaceable. Nobody's irreplaceable. That's completely insane. Yeah. We've gotten off of thrift stores.
I know.
Is there a particular kind of thrift store you like? Is there a Goodwill? Is there a Salvation Army?
I like thrift stores.
Consignment shops?
No, not consignment. Too much money.
Okay.
I think that even Goodwill sometimes have gone above and beyond what their price is. Like, you want to go, you do know that we realize that you got this stuff for free.
Oh, is that what you want to say to them?
I do.
Yeah.
And sometimes say it out loud, mumbling to myself like the weird lady at the rack. But I like a little random off the beat place, like the place we're about to go. I'm excited for that. There's little like St. Vincent de Paul's when you go.
St. Vinny.
Yeah, those are great ones. I really have a great, right now though, I am obsessed. When I can't get to a thrift store, I will tell you that there's shopgoodwill.com. where you can online bid for Shop Good. But they do get you on the shipping and handling. You may pay. I've bought Christian Louboutin boots.
Right.
Okay? Literally.
For a nickel.
$100, which are $1,200 shoes.
Okay.
They are somebody else's shoes.
Right, but you're fine. You give it a shot.
But I do bowl.
Right.
So I know how to avoid.
Oh, right.
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 Yeah.
So, but they do give you shipping and handling ridiculousnly, like $40 for shipping and handling. Like,
right.
I know you're not paying skilled labor.
Right.
So,
right. It's not. It could be 20.
Yeah.
Is what you're saying. Yeah. If it were cost.
Yeah.
So, but I did not know that there was a Goodwill.com where you could bid on stuff.
Yeah. I will have to confess to one thing. Early on in my comedy career, I also wasn't getting paid. I mean, everybody knows comics in the beginning. And the scale hasn't changed. As an MC, you would make $150. If you had a $350 a week, you were at a great space.
Yep.
Then the shift was just $350 to maybe $700-800 as a feature act. They could go anywhere, but it was more $400 to $800. Right?
Okay. What I would say is that $200 to MC, $300 to $500 to feature.
Oh.
And then $900 to $1,200 to headline. Like I'm talking shitty one-nighters. Like,
Okay.
Yeah.
I was
You're
an
doing
improv. Well, I
and at the
started at the
Improv?
Cleveland Improv and the
Okay.
Funny Bones.
There you
so
go.
they were my chain.
Oh, there you go. Yeah.
Yeah, they were all part of the same group. So, but yeah, somewhere around
but
there.
150,
Still not
yeah,
enough money
it's
to really
comparable.
live on.
No.
You know what I mean? Living in a condo. So
Yeah.
I would also go to thrift stores. I don't know how I feel, but I have to, whether I would recommend this, but I would buy things that were brand new at thrift stores.
Yep.
Diapers, pantyhose.
Okay. Diapers.
Yeah, they have them.
For what? For...
Okay.
Oh.
And then I would return them.
Oh, you go to Target.
Like Rite Aid
Or Rite Aid.
Walmart.
The place that didn't, for a long time, they didn't require receipts.
And then I
Get the
would
credit.
get the credit so I could actually afford to live.
Yeah. Have a soda or get cleaning material.
I rationalized in my head that I wasn't stealing.
Right, because they had those items to resell again. But it wasn't rigorous honesty. I think we can all admit right now that was not...
Correct.
It was not you were not the hero of that story.
No.
But...
I was buying it from somewhere.
Right, and then they
got it
were
for free.
reselling it.
And they got jobs.
And Rite Aid was reselling it.
And they were reselling it.
Yes.
But it's still not... It's a slippery slope.
There's an Elliott Cation. My father would definitely say, "Yeah, there's nothing wrong with that. That's fine." There is something wrong with that, but it's over now.
Yeah.
And
it's a weird Robin Hoodie thing.
Yes, and it doesn't feel. But whatever it was, you were then saying to yourself, "Well, now I could buy toothpaste and shampoo, and that'll be exciting for me."
I have now just confessed to thievery.
Right. There we go. Welcome to the Dork Forest, everyone. And but St. Vinny. Because I do like consignment shops because they feel better organized and they feel, there's one in Minneapolis called New Look. N-U.
Oh,
New
yes,
Look.
of course, sure.
It's kitty corner from a place called the Paperback Exchange, which I get some, they got all kinds of shitty, mysteries
they have all
and
those
science fiction
Play-Doh
and romance.
closets and all that stuff everywhere.
And so that's good. But in Los Angeles, there's Salvation Army. There's it's right by the factory. There's a Salvation Army factory.
Yes.
And so that's where they sort everything.
Correct.
There's a big Salvation Army, 3 blocks one way, and there's a really tiny Salvation Army 2 blocks another way.
Right.
And the tiny one, they sort of skim off the top, sort of the more high-end stuff.
Sure. You know that because when you walk in, here's how you know if it's a good thrift store. 2 things. If it smells, I will turn around and walk out.
Okay.
That's a good one.
If it's super like mothbally or
just stinky,
Yeah.
because I will tell you that there are times in thrift stores. Again, my son's crazy costume kid,
because he's a child.
Yeah, and insane about that. And I would love to help him with that. And I've turned Batman hoods inside out and found little bugs. So you do have to be careful.
Right.
You must wash everything. But that's a good. And if you walk into a thrift store and the people at the thrift store have on like 7 jeans and designer clothes, walk out because they've taken the good stuff for themselves and really mark the other stuff high.
Okay.
Yeah.
Those are 2 good things.
Yeah.
I've just heard of 7 jeans. I don't know a lot about these jeans were, I got them at New Look. They
Love
are
'em.
Ralph Lauren.
Okay.
And they're still bleeding the bleaching. I've had them for 1.5 years.
Really?
Yeah, I've washed them 1,000 times and this bluing comes off on it.
Just keeps coming off.
Just keeps coming off.
That can't be good.
It can't be good. Something is wrong.
We have to soak them a little bit. You have to wash them in vinegar.
Is that
tell
it?
you that.
Is that?
Yes, that's true.
I have
white
vinegar.
wine, like
White
apple
vinegar.
cider, white vinegar.
Yeah.
Wash them in that. And
Okay.
then you'll stop the bleeding.
And then
That's
what do I do with?
design?
Thank you very much. And then what do I do with my do then I have to run a cycle of my washer to get that vinegar smell?
Probably that would be
Thank you.
good.
Thank you for. It's just looking for idiot tips of let's go all the way.
That would probably be beneficial.
Seems best if you don't want the rest of your clothes to smell like vinegar.
Or French chefs would come walking around you trying to make you salad. I will tell you this too, though. Bayou in Los Angeles.
Yeah.
I happen to live right behind the Dime on Fairfax when I lived in LA for all those years. And in the years that I lived there and now subsequently, they still have the out of the closet. Out of the closets are the best ones.
Oh, are they?
In Los Angeles.
Because it's a sort of a small chain now.
It's a small
There's 3
chain.
or 4 of them maybe.
They give, it's for,
AIDS
it helps
research or something.
AIDS research, HIV, people who are shut in.
Okay.
They give free condoms, which is fun. It's a nice little
Always fun.
bringer. And then around the corner, Fairfax and Beverly is a Goodwill, and that's a good Goodwill.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's sort of like going to like garage sales in fancy neighborhoods. They're like, we're getting rid of this.
Yeah.
I know it's a dresser that would have cost $1,200.
I'm a garbage picker, too.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Do you like?
Sadly.
It's my friend Karen
am.
Rontowski likes to find furniture and redo it.
Yeah, I love it.
Yeah.
And not to sound like a complete a-hole, but I will pull up in my Lexus and
Yes.
throw something out of someone's garbage in my bag. And
That's
it's not
how you
cheap.
got your Lexus.
Right,
You
it's not
found a Lexus behind somebody's house.
That's it. They laughed it. The keys were there. I thought, no, you were throwing this away. It was parked on the curb by the
This is
garbage.
mine.
Another. I will return it to the dealership. But we tried to sell it back to the dealership.
Tammy Pescatelli, you guys, unforeseen crime. No, but I think that why not though? I mean, if you want it, and he loves.
I love it.
He loves stuff. And we have an alley in our backyard, like out behind our backyard, and people abandon stuff there. And he's like, "Do you see this? This is a." And it was, like some little kids have had the best lives, and they have little motorized sports cars.
Sure.
For little kids, and our neighbor will. He loves to give his kids all kinds of stuff to go fast in. And they have scooters, they had these little cars, and Andy's like, I'm going to take that car and I'm going to take the engine out, because what had happened was the kid had finally broken the steering wheel off. And it was molded plastic, and you can't really fix it, right? And I was like, if I were a kid, I would just like to sit in that and pretend, right? And just be happy with that. And he said, that makes me sad. Let me just get the motor out of this. And then it sat in our garage for 1.5 years until he finally took it apart.
Well, it's fun. Our neighbors got rid of their wooden swing. And it was like they were throwing it out, and like they're two houses away. Yeah. And I was driving home one morning from the airport, and I called my husband, like, could you bring the truck? And he goes, what are you talking about? Because I got to pay. No, could you just come?
Just two houses.
2 houses down. What do you got now? And I go, listen, just come here with the truck before someone comes and gets it. And then I repainted it. It's on our porch right now.
And it's a fun swing.
It's a fun little wooden swing.
Is it? Oh, it's a sitting swing for adults.
Sitting swing, like total Mayberry.
Yeah.
We back and forth.
Both of our neighbors, one of them passed away, and we got all of her lawn furniture because her son is a friend of ours. And then on the other side, she went into assisted living, and she's like, "Do you want my wheelbarrow and all of my lawn?"
Do you live in a senior community?
We live in a tiny. Those houses on the Monopoly board. That's what our house looks like. It's a 1951 tract house. And the people on either side of us had lived there since they were built. And so now we have a very nice Filipino family on the one side, and they're very nice. And then we have an old guy named Larry who just moved in into Jane's old place. And he's okay. He's got a Harley, and he's got a wood shop, and he was grumpy initially, but we're warming. We're pretty good neighbors. And then we got the nice Armenian family across the street, and then we got the Vietnamese family who doesn't ever cut their goddamn lawn.
That's us.
And really just once every 3 months, he's out there with a scythe like it's rice season. I make very racially insensitive comments about him. But then right next to them are more Armenians, and we live in a very diverse neighborhood. A lot of Mexicans, and it's very blue collar. It's awesome.
I like that.
Yeah, I don't feel like I ever have to dress up, which is good, because I don't. But what is the greatest find you ever found? Let's get back to you.
Okay.
Classic.
Okay. Let's go back.
Yeah. So thrifting, what's your greatest find, do you think? What are a couple of things that you just
I always find, like, for me, I like, I find Louis Vuitton purses and stuff like that. I found tons and tons of that. Before
real ones?
Yeah, real ones. Before a lot of these hipsters came in and stole all my good finds.
Exactly. You liked REM before anyone liked REM. Right.
I did. And then, I found one time in a bowling ball bag, because I used to collect, I love suitcases. I love old suitcases. Because I like to I collect these old suitcases. You can, or you can kind of just leave them as is. I don't use them for suitcases. I use them to store things in.
Okay.
And kind of neat, like, things you want, like cards or whatever. Like, I have electronics in one. I have, and they're in my office, and they're just stacked, and they look kind of cool. I once found $172
in cash.
In cash in a bowling ball bag. Mm-hmm.
That's crazy.
Crazy. And I did call to give it back, and they said, no, it's, it's yours.
Clearly it's too far.
But what you have to think about it, it's a 1960s bowling ball bag.
Did you look at the dates on the bills?
And they were in
From
the
the
62, 66, like years old. So that was a lot of money back then.
Yeah.
That was a lot of money, $170. Like, if I'd have found it back then, that was equivalent of probably like $1,000.
Yeah, exactly.
I love that kind of stuff. I'll probably never be the one that finds the Declaration of Independence behind
or
something.
the treasure map.
Yeah. But it's always in my head.
It's always in your head.
Yeah.
You're like, I could be. I could be
me.
the one. You don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I always look for that kind of stuff. Those are my greatest gifts.
Excellent.
I
like it. Now, we can keep talking thrift stores. We can talk weird reality shows that you like, because you also said that, and vampire books. I don't read. Was it Anne Rice?
I started with Anne Rice.
Okay, vampire books. Let's do this.
That was my first thing. That's like the 90s, and I started with Anne. Well, no, really, if we take it back.
Yeah.
In like 7th and 8th grade, I read the Bram Stoker and the, trying to see.
Isn't that her?
No. Bram Stoker.
Is the original Dracula.
The original Dracula.
Yeah.
And
I have downloaded it to my Kindle and have been too scared to start it.
And then the Salem's Lot, because then that led to...
Is that Stephen King?
That was the Stephen King.
Right.
Because that was the first vampire movie that I really saw, was the Salem's Lot.
Okay.
And I was petrified.
But you plugged through it?
4th or 5th grade.
Wow.
Oh, sure.
10
now
years
you
old.
look at it, and you can actually see the vampire masks. You can see the line
on the movie?
of the skin. Like, it's so ridiculous
Yeah.
and scary. I don't know why I became fat, because I'm not a horror person.
Okay.
But there's something about the vampire books.
Okay.
That it's almost so farcical that I told you before, I like to not be able to insert myself into that reality.
Oh, right.
I don't like to see, as much as I'm thrilled for our friends to get cast in things, I
Right.
don't like to see people I know in vampire movies or,
Right,
or
because
in
you're like, it
television
takes
shows.
you out of the illusion.
Yeah.
But so when you read a vampire book, or you watch a vampire TV show or a vampire movie, you are not scared?
No, not at all.
What makes a vampire more interesting to you than a werewolf? Or a mummy?
Because it feels
or a
like
zombie?
my life.
A vampire.
Because
Because it's at night? Or
First of
something?
all, because I always feel like my family's out to stake me. So there's always that element that they're chasing me.
Right.
But I think that
you were the undead.
For the longest time, like we only came out at night as I'm not even trying to be facetious.
Right.
As comics, we only came out at night. There were very few of us. People really didn't understand us. And when you found a like mind, you were like, oh, I get it. And I always kind of felt outside of myself as a kid. I never felt like I quite belonged.
or
I still feel like I don't belong in my family. I've always been the black sheep. So I think kind of that, and just the fascination of an ultimate
because they
power.
are very separate. They're very separate, but they're very powerful beings.
Correct.
As are you.
Oh yeah,
Possibly.
But you see, my vampire magic is already working.
Exactly.
But I like the mystique of it. Like, and there was always something.
How were vampires created? Like, how was the first vampire created?
Well,
do we know?
To the real story is that Dracula was an actual Romanian prince.
Okay.
Who was just vicious.
Vlad the Impaler? Or?
Yeah, and he would have his enemies
beheaded.
Or
impaled.
Yeah.
And then drink their blood? Or no?
I don't know if that's actually the case.
But in the canon, like, how are vampires created?
Well, you could go back to Christ and the disciples.
Oh, the first zombie, of course, was Lazarus.
They could say that, right?
Well, I read a comic book where Christ created the first zombie by raising Lazarus.
You could say that. And you could say, the drinking the blood of Christ.
Oh, right. So maybe that was it, because the wine turns into the blood.
I don't know where it comes from, but I just was always fascinated. And I do find
you haven't read a vampire book that has told you supposedly how vampires.
No, they're all
vampire?
different, because you know why? They all come from different places. Yet lately, their fiction is crisscrossing, so it's a little bit bizarre.
Okay, why?
Because I think some of them were influenced. Because now we have these great. You have like the Godfather, like you have an Anne Rice.
Okay.
Right? Who started that genre, if you will, technically.
Right. What was
Became popular. The interview with the vampire and all the way down the Vampire Lestat.
What was that about?
Well, it was a lot like this, I have to tell you, Jackie.
Let me tell you what it was
how
like.
it starts, where a reporter wants to interview a vampire, and then he tells his whole story, and it goes into this whole thing, and the Vampire Lestat, and how he is a modern day vampire, but it takes you back to all their culture. And then by the end, in the 13th, she's got a new one out that I'm forcing myself to read, but it's so inside that I've forgotten the details.
Okay.
But I still will plow through it.
Right? So what are the first 6 really good?
Yes. Amazing.
Amazing. Just one after another. Is it one interview after another, or is it just going into this guy's
the bad guy becomes
life?
The good guy? Because that's what always happens in all these vampire sagas.
Oh, really?
The bad guy becomes a good guy. I'm fascinated by, there's a woman, this Mary Janice Dick. I want to make sure I say her name correctly, because I always say it the wrong way. Hold on. She's a very funny author. She's got a whole series. It's called the Undead series, Mary Janice Davidson.
Okay.
And she loves comedy. And she's actually even talked about her characters in her series going to see Jim Gaffigan in concert.
Oh my God, that's hilarious.
And this is how much a dork I am.
Yes.
I wrote her.
Right? That's right. To ask her if she really ever got to meet Jim Gaffigan. Why did you write her?
I just wanted to let her know that I
you did
enjoy
comedy,
her, and I do comedy. And not that I, would ever want to be a character, but it was just a lot of fun. And then
that worlds have collided.
Yeah.
And that you wanted her to know.
Right.
And she
I doubt
responded,
that Jim,
or?
I love Jim, but I doubt that he
reads vampire
those.
books?
I mean, I would think, I look at Jim as a brilliant mind, and I look at me as I could have the ability to be brilliant, but I don't use my powers for good.
Do you have a lot of potential still?
No, not at all. No.
I love that Jim Gaffigan's a genius and you are not. That doesn't make any sense.
I would feel that he would be too.
Because he's talking about, food on a stick.
Cheese.
But
still, I would feel that he would not.
He wouldn't read
vampire fiction.
I think he probably
novels.
he reads different crap. Maybe he may not read vampire crap.
I see him more of a biography channel kind of coffee table book guy, biographies and actual real people, so he could use the facts.
Sure. Who knows? But you wrote to her, and now what's her first book?
Oh, she's got a whole Undead series, and it's funny. It's like this woman who is like this, has this normal, mundane, blondie, totally socially like a
regular lady?
Yeah, like a Paris Hilton average person, not rich, but like a bubblehead. And then she...
Oh, wait, she works in HR? I don't know. I don't know why I have to slam the HR people, but I always think I never know who goes into HR, but I have a theory that it's cheerleaders.
Correct. It's kind of like, except that now as a cheerleader, I have to say, but I don't think I belong.
No,
I
it's
just
sweeping. I'm not saying it isn't sweeping at all.
Well, I will tell you I've had a big issue with myself trying to figure out why I was captain of the cheerleaders, and I really boil it down to the need for attention.
Sure.
And that because I was the daughter of a pro football player, I was
your dad was a pro football player?
Yeah, I wasn't
Who did he play for?
The St. Louis Cardinals. That's the day, and then he retired with the Browns.
The Browns.
Back in the day when literally,
what did he
Jackie.
We have to stop real briefly and find out, what is your father's name?
Jim Gillespie. He was a giant. He's a
Gillespie.
giant of a man. These mountains in Aspen remind me of my childhood.
What did he play on the football team?
He was a defensive lineman. I mean, he's
Holy
skinny
smokes.
at 300 pounds. He's 6'5". That's why I was always good.
Well, this is exciting.
I was like a good kid because I was petrified.
Thought you were going to break you in half?
I was petrified.
Okay.
I was why I've always was like, I wasn't.
How many kids in your family?
Myself and my 2 brothers.
Okay, so 3 kids. And do either of them play professional football?
No, but my one brother is a college coach.
Okay.
And I mean, they tried. They each played in college. They tried, but.
Right. But one of them is a coach. And so they went into sports.
Me. My brothers had the athletic ability.
Yeah.
They didn't have the heart like I did.
To kill.
I have
You're a
that.
mercenary. Yeah.
I
You're
really
an
do
assassin.
have that. Tell me I can't do it, and I'll die trying. I really have that Liam Neeson. I don't have a certain. I'm not rich, but I do have a certain set
Why
of
do they
skills.
keep taking that man's children?
And I will find you, and I will kill you, because apparently he's a bad person.
Apparently, people keep wanting to steal his children.
I don't think he's learned that he should retire and just go to some.
Or maybe
town.
he should possibly spend more time with them so that they don't get snatched in the
He
first
needs
day.
a fortress of solitude that he can just hide them in.
But let's get back to the
I'm
vampire
lightheaded.
books. Me too, a little bit.
Really?
Because we should drink water because we're in Aspen, Colorado.
All of a sudden I feel like I'm gonna. Maybe we're unveiling vampire secrets. And
No, I think it's because we were talking too much and not drinking any water or breathing. We have to remember to breathe in Aspen. It's a big thing. So this woman has like an office job and she becomes a vampire?
yeah, she gets like
She gets bit by some bad guy?
but
or-
turns out not only is she just a vampire, she's the queen of the vampires. So I've read her books. I've read the Suki Stackhouse
she get to be
series
the
that
queen?
turned into the True Blood series.
Okay.
Simultaneously, and you just go back and forth, and it's fun to watch. I've read the whole the young adult fiction. Are you all right? You look like you're going to pass out.
I know I have a little bit of I have some issues as well.
Yeah, we're really lightheaded.
Did the fire take all the oxygen out of the room?
But are you gassing us? Is this some
I
kind of
shouldn't- I shouldn't be
Auschwitz podcast?
Wow. Why has it got to go there?
I don't
Why's it
know,
gotta
but
go
I
to
have
the
to.
Jews? Yeah,
I'm
open the
going to
door.
open it up. That has nothing to do with the Jews. It's Auschwitz. It's
Auschwitz.
not. It's in. This was not. I'm opening up the door in case.
I appreciate it. That's good.
Maybe that's what it is. Maybe you haven't opened the flu.
I did open the flu. I paid a kid $10 to come open my flu.
First of all, any guy who's in the flu business.
Did you know that the flu has an E on the end of it? I'm gonna drink some water, you guys. So what you do? Did you watch
Imagine if we
Buffy?
died at the end of this podcast?
This is it. Their last words were about vampire
Like
books.
Jim Jones, Guyana podcast. Wait a second, Miss. Did you offer me this water as a Cosby-esque thing?
Yes.
Is there-
Oh, my
is there
God.
someone that's going to come in?
I'm gonna take advantage of you at any minute
Wait a
now.
second.
And Bill Cosby.
No, you're
what
passing
an-
out too.
I know
Someone's
it.
taking advantage.
I
of
must
us.
have.
I really feel like I'm going to just fall right over right now.
Well, let's see where we're at. We're almost at 50 minutes. We could probably call it. It could be a little bit shorter. It's not going to kill anybody because we're like 1,000 million feet up in the sky.
I know.
There's no air up here.
And I hate it because I never feel as lazy and as sloth-like as I really am in real life. It's never called out into question until I come to Colorado. Because people are like, what are you doing tomorrow? What are you doing in the day? I'm like, oh, you're nothing. Because I think they're going to say, you want to go get something to eat?
Yeah.
And they're like, want to hike the mountain? No, I really don't. No. I have no desire. Want to take the tram up to the top of the mountain and go to the radio station? No, I really don't. Thank you. Could I call in from my hotel room?
That would be the best. It's so did you ever watch Buffy the Vampire Slayer?
I did.
Okay.
Totally.
I loved it.
In series. Again.
First 5 years, I'd say. First 5 years.
I didn't have cable. This was
Okay.
early living
Me neither.
in Los Angeles.
I only saw it in syndication.
I bought
You bought the DVD?
right at a thrift store, by the way.
Nice.
At a thrift store, and then found an online group because I bought the first season. Then found an online group that was willing to switch.
Yeah.
With me,
a trade.
Yeah, and then that's because in LA you can, and it was the greatest thing in the world. And so yeah, I loved that. I'm a big fan of chicks being strong, and I do think that there's something with the vampire thing, but maybe that's what it is. It's the strength,
Right, because, but isn't there a whole genre where it's the girls fall in love with the vampire because he's some Darksider dude and he's unattainable? Like, isn't there, there's like really strong lady vampires who are awesome. And then there's the women who fall in love with the vampires.
Not a big fan of them.
The other side, the Twilight
I'm
side,
flipped,
right?
Yeah. Although I do enjoy that moment of. This is why I know vampires aren't real, because if a teenage girl found a vampire boyfriend, it would be on Facebook and Twitter with it, like Snapchat it. It would be out, like she can't keep a secret.
Right.
But I love that moment of, what are you? You know, that weird.
Right, you seem to know a lot about history. Yeah, that's because he's 700 years old.
You're
And
17, but
you look 17, and, well, the crazy thing is, like, I want like I always think I like the women powerful thing more than the in love thing. Even though I read romance novels, I'm not above a romance novel.
You do?
Not a lot, but I do. Like, I'm in a terrible jag right now. I gotta get out. I gotta get out of the romance novel jag where I can't stop. This is how you judge how many romance novels you've read. In the last 3 months, I've spent $200 on romance novels.
That is crazy.
Because you don't keep them. I mean, the only way to judge how many romance novels you're reading is monetarily, because they are $8 a piece.
Right.
And so I've spent probably $200 in the last 3 months. So my dad went into the hospital, and so I was spending a lot of time around my family members.
Sure.
And so I retreat to things that are soothing.
Again, not to pull full circle, thrift stores, best place for books.
Oh, yeah.
Best.
Oh, yeah.
Absolutely the best.
Right, but they're very specific. Like, the author I'm reading right now is, it's crazy. I found this list of the 10 best Regency romance novels in this woman's opinion. And so I was looking for a new author, because the author that I was reading, the author I was reading wasn't very fun. This is super dorky, by the way. The Jackie Cation's new dorkdom, I guess, is romance novels until I can get back into reading other things again.
Sometimes we need to be taken. Maybe that's why I like vampire, because it's so, my real life is tough, right? Like, you need to be taken out of your regular.
I went romance novel taken, which is a rape analogy.
Oh, yes, of course.
I'll be over
yes.
here. I don't read those ones, by the way. The 50 Shades of Grey.
Me either.
There's too much hitting. There's no hitting in grown-up land. And if you like hitting in your love play, that, I'm 100
First
years
of
old,
all,
by the way.
I would not read, if I want porn, I'll watch porn.
Okay.
Like, you know what I mean? Like, there's no need to read porn fiction. I'm not in reading the Linda Lovelace series. You know what I mean? Like, just pick it up.
The Happy Hooker, I believe, was something when I was in junior high that somebody turned me on to. This is digressed. Tammy Pescatelli, let me just say, so what would you recommend if people wanted to start reading vampire novels? Twilight this woman sounds great, the one who's funny.
I read Twilight, but the Mary Janice Davidson. Mary Janice Davidson.
Right.
So funny. Her characters are well written. They're funny. They're all. It's really, and it doesn't once you get a little bit further down the series, it does go into like some different kind of explanations in the whole vampire hierarchy. But once you're there, you're either a fan and you're all in anyway, or but for the first couple, you'd enjoy it. Anybody would enjoy these books.
Okay. Everybody, go to @TammyPescatelli on Twitter and pescatelli.com. And we're going to go breathe. We're going to go breathe and drink some water and live our lives. Thank you so much for being on the show.
Thank you for having me.
My hat, my hat, my hat. They're dancing around my hat. My hat, my hat, my hat. Well, what do you think of that? If it looks like a Mexican hat dance and it sounds like a Mexican hat dance, it's most likely a Mexican hat dance. So take off your hat and let's dance.
Yay! Oh my God. Why don't we just call that as the end of the show?